My name is Julie Lilenfield. I live in Atlanta. I live in the North Buckhead area. I have two boys, a teenager who's 18. He's a senior at Mount Vernon, and I have a sophomore who's 16, and he's at North Atlanta. And I work for a large software company in Atlanta. I do internal communications for the CIO and her executive team. So after college, there was a group of us that wanted to live somewhere new and different. We went to college in upstate New York. It was a small private school, and there was about 5 or 6 of us that wanted to try something other than New York City. And it was the summer before the Olympics were coming to Atlanta, and I had a girlfriend that said, let's go check out Atlanta. So we packed up our cars and carpooled from upstate New York to Atlanta. We all tried to find jobs, and that was back in the day when there was no internet, so we had the newspapers finding jobs. I got a really good job right away with a big consulting firm, and my other girlfriend who got us to Atlanta got a job with CNN, and we just never left. Once I turned 50, I got very aware of what I eat, how much I sleep, and exercise. So it feels amazing, and now I can't think of living any other way other than being conscious about my food and my exercise. That was a lot. I didn't know when menopause was creeping up because I didn't have a uterus. So I had to pay very close attention to my body. And I think that's what yoga has helped me with the mindfulness and being self-aware. So paying really close attention to how I feel after a certain amount of sleep, how I feel after I eat, how I feel after exercise. So it was a lot of really going inward to understand myself and how I felt. A little bit more that than looking for supplements and looking for treatment. I just kind of changed the way I ate and lived. I found it confusing because there's so much information out there about it, and there's so many different studies about HRT, and I do have a history of breast cancer, and there was a lot around not taking estrogen if you have a history of breast cancer. So there was a lot of me trying to do nothing and just grin and bear it and handle menopause, and I didn't like the way I felt. I felt older and I didn't feel like myself. So it's been a journey. I got really sick. I actually ended up getting COVID during the Delta variant. So I think it was like a year into COVID, and I wasn't vaccinated, and I did get sick, and I did lose my smell and taste. So I didn't eat or drink for probably 3 or 4 weeks. So as I started to feel better, I really started to think about what I want to put in my body. And I was so aware of what certain foods would do to my body. I had no idea that I was sensitive to gluten. I had no idea I was sensitive to dairy. So after that, I was able to really figure out how my body reacted to certain foods. And it's changed the way that I eat and the way that I live now. I think that there's so much opportunity left, and there's so much more out there to life. So to me, it's really exciting. I think with my kids being teenagers and about to leave the house and go to college, I look at like the world as an open book or a blank slate right now. This is a better word, a blank slate. And I can do anything I want. So I'm really excited about that. Be grateful for everything you have. I was very blessed to be able to have a really good career and then also be a mom and spend time with my family. It kept me grounded, and it kept me open-minded and very grateful for everything I had. Healthy children, great career, healthy life. So more than anything, I think I'd say gratitude. I take my role as a mother very important, and I want to be someone that my children look up to as a source of strength. So as my kids have gotten older, it has prompted me to want to stay fit, stay strong for them, to be a role model for them to look up to, and also a role model of strength in their life.